What if I told you that her losing interest isn't the end of your story? It's just the beginning of a much more powerful one. That feeling when you notice her texts getting shorter, the calls becoming less frequent, the way her eyes no longer light up when you walk into the room. It cuts deep. But here's what most men never realize. This moment isn't a death sentence for your connection. It's an opportunity to transform, not just how she sees you, but how you see yourself. Most guys panic. They make desperate moves that only push her further away. But you're not most guys. Today, I'm breaking down the 5 proven ways to re-attract her and get actual results. Not just temporary attention, but genuine, magnetic attraction that makes her wonder how she ever lost interest in the first place. Let's go. Sign 1. Reset the power dynamic. When she pulls away, your first instinct is to chase harder, text her more, call more often, show up with gifts, beg for another chance. Stop. This desperate energy is suffocating any attraction that might be left. When you chase, you're telling her one thing: I need you more than you need me. And need is never attractive. What works instead? Creating space. Pull back. Not as a game, but as a reset. When she feels your absence, something powerful happens in her mind. She starts to wonder about you. Where are you? What are you doing? Who are you with? This isn't about playing mind games. It's about restoring balance in the dynamic. Because attraction thrives in the space between you, not in your constant presence in her inbox. Give her the gift of missing you. I want you to understand something crucial here. Your attention has value. Your time has value. When you freely give it to someone who isn't reciprocating, you're teaching them that your attention is cheap. Is that the message you want to send? Men who understand their worth don't chase. They attract. And while you're creating that space, focus on the next critical step. Sign 2. Rebuild your kingdom. When was the last time you invested deeply in your mission? Not for her, for you. Women are naturally drawn to men who are going somewhere, building something, men with direction. When she first met you, she saw a man with fire in his eyes, something beyond the relationship that drove you. What happened to that man? Relationships often become comfort zones. We get lazy, we stop growing. And that growth, that forward momentum, is exactly what made her attracted to you in the first place. So ask yourself, what projects have you abandoned? What goals have you put on hold? What passions have you forgotten? This isn't just about impressing her, it's about becoming the man you're meant to be. Because nothing, and I mean nothing, is more attractive than a man fulfilling his potential. Let me tell you something I've seen time and time again. When a man reconnects with his purpose, that thing that lights him up from the inside, something magical happens. His energy shifts, his confidence returns, his entire presence transforms, and women notice. They can't help but notice, because purpose creates a gravitational pull that's almost impossible to resist. She fell for a man with direction. Show her that man again. Sign 3. Master emotional independence. Here's where most men completely miss the mark. They think attraction is about what they do for her, the dates, the gifts, the compliments. But the most powerful attraction is built on something else entirely. Your emotional self-sufficiency. When she sees you living a full, rich life without needing her validation, when she notices your happiness isn't dependent on her presence, when your mood isn't tied to her responses, that's when she starts to wonder what she's missing. The paradox is powerful. The less you need her happiness to be happy, the more she'll want to be part of your happiness. Let me be crystal clear about something. This isn't about pretending you don't care. It's about genuinely building a life so fulfilling that her presence enhances it rather than completes it. I've coached hundreds of men through this exact situation, and I've seen the same pattern play out over and over. The moment, the exact moment, a man truly embraces his emotional independence is when everything changes. Because women are intuitive. They sense emotional neediness like sharks sense blood in water, and they sense emotional strength just as powerfully. Start building your emotional ecosystem. Friends, family, purpose, hobbies. Create a life so full that a relationship becomes a choice, not a necessity. And when she senses that shift, when she feels that you've built a world that doesn't revolve around her, that's when her attraction begins to reignite. Sign 4. Upgrade your presence. Let's talk about presence. Not just how you look, though that matters, but how you carry yourself, how you occupy space. When she first noticed you, something about your energy commanded attention. Your voice had conviction. Your movements had purpose. Your eyes held contact. These subtle signals of confidence speak to her on a primal level. They always have. So take an honest inventory. Has your posture weakened? Has your voice lost its depth? Do you dress with the same intention you once did? This isn't shallow advice. This is about reclaiming your power. Hit the gym, not just for how it makes you look, but for how it makes you feel. Upgrade your style, not to impress her, but to honor yourself. Speak with conviction, not to win arguments, but because you know your worth. I want you to try something. Stand in front of a mirror, look yourself in the eyes, and speak these words with absolute conviction. I am enough. Did you feel the power in that? Or did you feel resistance? Because how you speak to yourself directly impacts how you present yourself to the world. And how you present yourself to the world directly impacts how she responds to you. Your presence is a language all its own, and it's speaking volumes even when you're silent. When you walk into a room like you belong there, when your presence is felt before you even speak, that's when her interest doesn't just return, it intensifies beyond what it ever was before. Sign 5. Create new patterns. The death of attraction often comes from predictability. She knows exactly what you're going to say, exactly how you'll react, exactly what you'll do next. There's no mystery, no growth, no evolution. The relationship has calcified into patterns, habits, routines, and routine is the enemy of desire. So break the pattern, disrupt the predictable. If you always text, call. If you always suggest dinner, suggest an adventure. If you always react with jealousy, respond with confidence. If you always chase, give her space to come to you. When you change the pattern, you change how she sees you. You become interesting again, unpredictable, worth figuring out. I remember coaching a client, let's call him Mark. For months, he'd been the predictable nice guy, always available, always agreeable, always trying to please. And slowly, her interest faded. So we changed the pattern. Instead of dropping everything when she called, he prioritized his commitments. Instead of agreeing with everything she said, he respectfully shared his authentic perspective. Instead of asking what she wanted to do, he invited her into experiences he was passionate about. Within weeks, her texts became more frequent. Her tone shifted. The spark returned. But here's the critical part, and listen closely. This isn't about manipulating her emotions. It's about genuinely evolving as a man, because if you're just acting differently to get her back, she'll sense the fakeness, the desperation underneath. This has to be real growth, authentic change. Sign 6. Master high-value communication. The way you communicate with her matters more than you realize. Most men make one of two critical mistakes when they feel her slipping away. They either become passive and agreeable, hoping not to rock the boat, or they become defensive and combative, trying to prove themselves right. Both approaches kill attraction. High-value communication is different. It's direct without being harsh. It's authentic without being tactless. It's confident without being arrogant. When you speak, your words should carry weight. Don't over-explain. Don't justify your decisions. Don't seek approval in your tone. Here's a simple exercise that transforms how she responds to you. Before you speak or send that text, ask yourself, would a man who deeply values himself say this? Would a man who knows his worth communicate this way? If the answer is no, reconsider. Your communication is a direct reflection of your self-worth. And she's reading between every line. The transformation. These 6 steps aren't just tactics to win her back. They're the foundation of becoming the man you're truly capable of being. A man who doesn't need her validation but welcomes her admiration. A man focused on his mission, not just on her approval. A man whose value doesn't diminish when someone fails to see it. And here's the beautiful truth that most men never discover. When you truly transform in these ways, when you genuinely level up your life, one of 2 things will happen. Either she'll be drawn back to you, magnetized by the man you've become, or you'll realize that you've outgrown the need for her to come back at all. I've seen it countless times. Men come to me desperate to re-attract one specific woman, and they end up attracting multiple high-quality women, often including the one they thought they'd lost. Because authentic transformation isn't something you can fake. It radiates from you. And that, brother, is the ultimate win. Because you haven't just re-attracted her. You've reclaimed your power. The question isn't whether she'll notice the difference. The question is, will you even care when she does? Start now. Not for her, for you. And watch how quickly everything changes.